Can you talk to me a bit about, what this process was getting to Costa Rica and finding her today, and what the next steps look like as she's brought back to the U.S.?
Yeah, the process of this investigation was very lengthy. There was a lot of challenges along the way. Looking at a 43-day fugitive investigation that, started here in Austin, led us to New York, New Jersey, and then here this past week, we were able to confirm that Kaitlin Armstrong boarded a flight under a passport that did not belong to her, where she then landed in Costa Rica. So early on in this investigation, we were lucky to have the Marshal Service really upgrade this case to a major case, to where we had those resources in line to be able to handle something like this, to where we could streamline things. And when I mean streamline, it's like I tell everyone else here around the office, it's like getting that fast pass at a theme park, to where you cut the line because you need something so rapid before she can really change the course of her travel or her physical appearance once again. So our international operations here with the Marshal Service was able to communicate with foreign officials to really give them some type of awareness and background of Kaitlin Armstrong and where we believe she was, located, or, within a certain type of area there in Costa Rica. And that communication really came down to, foreign officials, boots on the ground, and going, what I call old-fashioned law enforcement techniques, and door to door, and conducting surveillance and doing face-to-face interviews that really led to her capture there yesterday at the Santa Teresa beach there at a hostel by foreign officials there in Costa Rica.
Then I know you had mentioned this was a 43-day long investigation. Brandon, from your expertise and your experience, is this an unusually long fugitives investigation, or what has this process been like if y'all have been working through this case?
Yeah, this is a very challenging fugitive investigation. With the Marshal Service, we always adopt, the worst of the worst in violent cases. And some fugitives, are caught within, a day or a week or month. And this one really went a month and a half. But this is a challenge that, we haven't seen in quite some time, to where an individual left the country using a fraudulent document. But, we were able to handle that challenge with the assistance of the, international operations with the Marshal Service, where they have that communication established with foreign officials and diplomatic security, to where we're able to eventually, hopefully, have her deported back to the United States. And we, as the Marshal Service, will obtain custody and, extradite her back to Austin, where, she will be before a court and be able to have those answers that everyone has been questioning.
You said that this has really been a very collaborative, boots on the ground process, locating her, finally culminating yesterday when she was found at that beach. I believe you had mentioned about one of the concerns was for her to not change her appearance again. I know there was plenty of photos the U.S. Marshals had posted of her in the past 6 weeks. How had her appearance changed since y'all initially, saw that surveillance footage of her leaving the Austin airport a month and a half ago?
Yeah, so our conversation was very brief yesterday with foreign officials, but that brief conversation, we were told that she changed the length of her hair, is about shoulder length, and also changed the color of her hair to a dark brown color. In addition to that, she had a type of bandage on her nose, which had some type of, it's described as bruising under her eyes, but she said that was due to a recent surfboard incident. So those types of things were a little bit of a challenge, but our international partners were able to still facilitate that apprehension. But like I said, getting that fast pass, getting everyone involved and on the same page, from the time to where, we got assistance from our U.S. Attorney's Office here in Austin, where we were able to file that UFAP, that unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. We knew that would be probably a type of resource that we would need, a legal document, in order to bring her back. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a deportation, hopefully by the officials there in Costa Rica, and they'll hand them off to the Marshal Service, and we'll bring her here to Austin. But yeah, that physical appearance, changed slightly. Would it have changed more as she started to create that, type of foundation for herself there in Costa Rica? Possibly could have. We know based upon our investigation that, she frequented a few yoga studios. She was taking classes, probably to better her profession to teach a specific type of yoga. And we knew that that had something to do with some type of surfing. So, with all that at hand, we were lucky to get her there at that hostel. And we believe she was staying at the hostel to really make her money stretch further down the road, being that now her family members, all her close association of her friendships were going to have to be terminated in order to stay under the radar and also to prevent them from, being caught up in this investigation. So with those type of resources constrained, I mean, she was trying to establish herself, and being in that hostel, that's really for people that travel independently. They try to build some type of relationship with individuals in their dormitory housing, someone that may as well speak the English language, because most of the language there in Costa Rica is Spanish speaking. So that's why this investigation itself, like I said, was a challenge. But we had investigators, we had task force officers that forfeited, their weekends and a holiday for 43 days straight, where they wanted to be the difference. They wanted to be the difference in this case, and be part of that capture. And now she'll face justice with the hopes of bringing some type of closure now to the Wilson family, who's been victimized by this incident.
Yeah, I mean, I know just the length of this fugitive case alone, you said, is unusual, but also it's such a high profile case given Mo Wilson's prominence in the professional cycling community. I'm very curious, because it's been such a long and heavily watched case. Did y'all receive a lot of tips or input or call-ins from members of the public on this case? What was that process like? Because we know here in Austin, it's really been so top of mind the past 6 weeks.
Right. I believe the abundant amount of news coverage that we had, whether it's here at the local, state, and national level, really played dividends in developing tips. I can't say they weren't tips that said, hey, this is where Kaitlin Armstrong is located. They were valuable tidbit tips that led us to certain areas where we were at, to really give us that background, who she was known to facilitate with in the past, and stuff like that. Really her interest, that really gives us that snapshot that we were needing to really build that background. And we had, 2 anonymous donors present themselves with the Austin Capital Area Crime Stoppers, where our cash reward was going up, and I think it was possibly going to be at $30,000 here soon. So all that type of, information that was provided with the assistance of the media, social media, to really get her name out there, played dividends to where we probably got, I think we fielded over 80 tips on the 43-day period. Now, granted, some of those were not, there wasn't anything to them as a possible sighting, but some of them are very factual. It gave us a background picture of Kaitlin Armstrong that, we were able to connect a few pieces to understand a little better. So we contribute that to people like yourself, and really getting that exposure for Kaitlin Armstrong to assist our investigators in this case.